Today, we have a very special devotee couple. One is hardworking, simple, and sincere. The other is kind hearted, sweet, charming, forgetful. Together, they form a powerhouse of devotion and a great example of Grahastha life. We present to you the most special, His Grace Mahasakha Krishna Das and Preethibhashini Gandhavika Devidas.
So welcome you, Mahasaka Prabhu and PreethibhashiniMataji.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Is
Hare
my
Krishna,
audio
Hare
loud and
Krishna.
clear?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's
Okay,
clear.
okay, fine.
Yes,
Thanks.
clear, Prabhuji.
So thank you. So today, Prabhuji and Mataji, we will first start with a question with your childhood days. So could you please tell us about your school days? Prabhuji, you can start with.
Really, school days? Oh my
Yes,
God.
Prabhuji.
All,
So we want to
all,
go to
all.
childhood days of yours.
So say, yeah. So all that image that I've built now, no, everything is going to crumble now. These, so this is the type of question I can expect, is it? Okay. So school days. How do I summarize? So kind of I mean, considering I keep talking to Preeti here on how our children are growing up versus how we grew up. So I still remember from fifth standard or maybe earlier also, we started going by public bus. My school was about probably 15 kilometers away from the place I lived. So we used to go by public bus. Then we used to catch two buses and go to school. So something, and that was all natural. I mean, so, and in fact, once I reached eighth or ninth, the greatest joy in life is if when my parents allowed me to go to school by cycle, because when I go by cycle, I probably reach about 5-10 minutes faster home when I leave from school than if I came by bus, because you have to catch this bus and go and all that. So it was very enjoyable. As far as a student, um, average student, I really didn't was not very serious about studies. Just went my way. I mean, I probably got about 88% in my 10th, and my parents were very surprised that I got 88%. Some seriousness came when I was in 12th. That was the later half. I mean, that's when you start thinking what you're going to do with your life. So that was a serious thing. The school itself, I was my captain of my football team in my sports, soccer, whatever that we had to do. So that was the sports. Otherwise, our sports were more like like if you ask somebody who's a singer, they will tell I'm a bathroom singer, right? So I'm a bathroom sportsman player, right? So that's how we have to look at it. Every chance we get, we are on the ground playing something, whatever it is. We used to take a rubber ball and then form two sides and play football on the big football field. So very happy childhood actually. I mean, school days also. So nothing spectacular. And just went through life just like that until 12th standard. 12th standard became, the later half became a little bit serious about what I wanted to do and started working towards
Very nice, Prabhuji. Actually, it remembers me like when you said about when you got this bicycle, right? So that was a golden moment for every child. So those days, like buying bicycle was like it's
that.
not
Yeah.
not an affordable kind. So that's a very nice nice childhood moment of yours.
Oh, yeah.
So over to Mataji. Like so, we would like to share something, Mataji here.
My childhood grew up pretty much reading fairy tales on the trees. So I would always, I love to read books, story books, much more than my textbooks. So inside every textbook of mine, there used to be a fairy tale book. My father and mother used to think that I'm actually studying, whereas I would be studying, reading stories. And we had a huge garden with a lot of fruits, and so most of my time was outdoors. But as a totally introvert, if you ask some of the many of the students may not even know that I existed because I always was to myself. I never moved in groups. So I was in a shell withdrawn, but I was a happy child. So I was satisfied with whatever I had. I grew up. I had, I mean, a loving brother and parents. So it was a very nice childhood. But as you all know, I was like not very outgoing. So very quiet and a little timid. I still probably continue to be like that.
Yes, Mataji, you continue to be the same. And now your fairy tales have converted into Krishna tales, Mataji.
That's right.
Yes.
So nice childhood days of both of you. So let us jump to next question. So the one thing nobody knows about you. So Prabhuji.
You want to know the secret, Mataji?
One thing nobody knows about me. Okay. Yeah, I think there are a lot of things, I guess. But if I have to take out a point, I used to love to ride bikes. Meaning, once of course, I started driving. I mean, I don't know if people remember at that time we had a scooter from Vespa. I don't know if people remember. Today, the Vespa, whatever we see, is more fancy. But at that time, it was a Bajaj clone in some
Yes.
sense. Um, so I used to love bike riding, and I continued far into my work life actually riding bikes. Then after some time, maybe probably into my early 30s, maybe, or mid 30s, I kind of gave up bike riding more from convenience rather than anything else, because I realized that sometimes you do not realize what you could do in your 20s, you cannot do in your 30s, because your reflexes slow down and you kind of don't realize it. So, but I felt that okay, that's done and dusted, and I did. So, in fact, when I was working initial days, I used to work in I don't know, erstwhile Satyam Computers. Today it's Tech Mahindra. I and my friend went to Mysore on a bike. It was a Hero Honda CD100 to Mysore, and we stayed there. We went, had some lunch, and we came back the same day. I mean, that's the kind of foolishness which we used to do. So
Very nice, Prabhuji. Very nice to hear that. Mataji, would you like to share?
Nothing much, Prabhuji, except that, when we got married and I came to Bangalore, every weekend we used to go and watch a film movie. So that's something which I think back now. I don't know how I had that kind of patience. Actually, I would go because he's calling me. Not that I'm really interested. Maybe he would take me to like a lot of English films which I didn't even understand. Lot of rings and things like that. So most of the time I used to go and sleep in the theater, and I was scared that he would ask me questions. So after that, no, asking whether I understood the movie, the theme of the film, and things like that. I was not really interested, and I didn't understand many of these films. But still, I kept going until Avijit was my savior. After he came, he really hated theaters. I mean, we tried taking him when we grew up a little bit. He would scream off his head, and he never liked the darkness. So that's how we got out of the habit of weekly movie watching, right?
yeah, that's okay. That is another.
It was a savior for you, Mataji.
Yes,
Huh?
yes, right.
We used to watch a lot of movies, and at that time she liked more light-hearted with that Basu Chatterjee type movies, right? And
Uh-huh.
are like, okay, take them to Hollywood types. A lot of the, I don't know how many of you know Lord of the Rings. It's a 9-hour trilogy. I mean, trilogy, three-part series. And we went for a film, English film, which was 3.5 hours. And she was like, okay, I'm done. After this, don't call me for an English film.
Nice,
So nice.
nice.
So next we'll move on to Mataji. Mataji, what was the first thought when you saw Prabhuji?
Prabhuji,
This should
let's
be
your
interesting. Maybe it will be
smile.
a secret
You
for
be
me
prepared,
also.
Prabhu.
I actually don't remember. It's been like 20 years, so I really don't remember. But it was like, he kind of complimented me because he did all the talking when he first met. And I thought, okay, I'm so happy that I don't have to talk much, because whatever I had in my mind, whatever questions I had, without asking only, he told me everything. So I thought it's perfect. Like without talking, I'm getting to know everything what I want. So that is the thing I thought it was good.
She thought she never needed to speak in life again. I will do the talking for her. So that's how it worked out.
How about you, Prabhuji?
My first thought, I really don't remember first thought. But yeah, I mean, like, so it was an arranged marriage. So kind of we went there, and initially you sit together, and my whole intent was I had to return back the same day back to Bangalore because I couldn't take off and I had to work. They had a train time limitation, so I wanted to spend as much time with her just to tell my points. So I'm nudging my mother, Mom, I need to speak to her alone. My mother is shaking her head vigorously, but nothing is moving forward. Then I had to jump in and tell I had to speak to her alone. That's the first thing I remember out of that thing. Then we went and spoke for some time.
Nice. So we'll move on to the next question. That is the happiest moment in your life till now, Prabhuji and Mataji.
Happiest moment.
So there are a lot of happiest moments, I believe.
No, actually, I don't know. I think when Avijit was born, I mean, in the sense, it might be a cliche, but um, the newborn baby, the doctor came and he was telling. In fact, I didn't realize that I would probably be impacted so much. I mean, it was you just go through life, right? Okay, fine, you're going to get a child, and okay, you'll become a father. But then, until you experience it, you really don't know how it impacts you. So the doctor told how to hold. I was I was not really concentrating. I was simply blindly following. Keep like this in the crook of your arm, and your child will be placed, and all that. When he was in the crook of my arm, I was thinking it was not a very. It is still not a very easily describable feeling. But I would say that was the point. Apart from all the other things.
Nice. How about you, Mataji?
Actually, I really never thought of it, and I can't say as one particular event which describes happiest point. I really can't pinpoint to that. Yeah.
Okay.
But now I think I'm the happiest phase of my life now. I'm very happy with the devotees, very happy with the family, very happy with the spiritual master, the growth. With I've got such a wonderful family. Even such a close knit association of devotees, and I can't ask for anything better than this. I think probably now is the happiest moment of my life. Hare Krishna.
Very true. Hari Bol, man. Now we move on to the next question. Prabhuji, it's for you, Prabhuji.
Mm-hmm.
If there's no restriction on your diet and you are allowed to eat what you like for one full day, what would be your breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, etc.?
Okay, the one thing is difficult. Breakfast will be rasgulla, lunch will be paneer tikka, then evening snack will be paneer pakoda, and dinner would be uh, paneer fried rice. Let me put it that way. So
Mataji, you
essentially,
have
I
to
can.
get prepared to cook all these, Mataji.
No, I've given up both. So, so, so any paneer and dosa combination, I can sustain on it without getting bored. And
How about you,
rasgulla,
Mataji?
rasgulla, I think this is a good anecdote to share because, and Priya is like stomping my leg. So I and Priya's mother, my mother-in-law, we have a healthy competition who can eat a lot of rasgullas. So you'll not believe that whatever you get that Haldiram rasgulla tin, no, I think it's got about 22 or 23 pieces. Both of us can complete it in one sitting. Just open it in one sitting within half an hour, all 22 rasgullas will be done. Yeah, it's a bit excessive, but then not any.
Mataji, how about you? Like,
I like all kind of food, but I'm very fond of chats. That is, of course, I like every other thing.
so next we'll move on. Next question. So was there a turning point in your Krishna consciousness? So that made you convinced about the process, like something like.
I think she should go first on this. Anything on Casey, Prithibhashini will lead because I'm just following her.
So, what your question is? When was the turning point, or what is it?
Was there any turning point in Krishna consciousness?
Like how you got convinced for this Krishna conscious
The
process? Like
process.
what was the most pleasing thing? What attracted you towards Casey?
Actually, I was on the lookout for a path, and I really wanted to get into something which satisfied my soul. I did not experienced any such thing before. I was working, and I mean, it is such a monotonous job, like, going morning, such a routine it was, like, taking care of the family, going to the job, coming back. And there was like, what is the goal of my life? So I started thinking about all this, and actually, I prayed within, like, that, show me the path which will give me the satisfaction and happiness. And I don't know what is the purpose of my life. So I was just not happy that way. So when I prayed to the Lord like this, like within, I started meditating on this thought. You will not believe that, one day I was just all alone at home, and I just randomly opened the computer, and I just went, opened one Yahoo chat. Those days, like, anybody could chat with anybody. So I went to the room, I saw the different chat topics. So there was a topic called as Hinduism. So I typed on that. Clicked on that, and there I first came across, first Siksha Guru, Hamsa Avatar Das Prabhu. He did not, of course, he didn't have this ISKCON name. He started chatting under a regular Karmi name. And then slowly he started, giving a lot of ideas on spirituality. And I was like really instantly attracted, and had so many questions, like, almost for a week to 10 days, every day I would ask a lot of questions. And he said, no, my hands are really paining typing your questions. Why don't you come to the temple one day, then we can talk further. Then I went all the way alone. I told Prabhu that, I'm going to meet a devotee, and I went. So Lakshmi Narasimha temple was that time the kitchen where where devotees cook the prasadam. Now that time the Lakshmi Narasimha deities were there. So at that time I went there. It was a small temple, and Narahari Prabhuji, who is the ISKCON president of the South Temple. So he and Hamsa Avatar Das Prabhu, both of them, I spoke to them. I had so many questions asked. Then they told, you have so many questions, why don't you, start attending the program? You will understand much more. So they connected me to Kamlakshi Mataji. And that within that same week, I got a call from Kamlakshi Mataji as well as Premamai Mataji. Then I told that, within a couple of months, my son's vacation is going to start. I will be going to Hyderabad I'll be having a break of 2 months. Shall I come back and join? She said, no, don't come back and join right now. So we went, and, I told Prabhu, and thankfully he also agreed to come, and we both started off. So instantly I was attracted by, Srila Prabhu, Shivas Prabhuji's classes. And of course, we cannot forget the opulent prasadam, what Premami Mataji used to give us week after week. It is so good. And then I used to wonder that, I used to ask her always, can I help you in any way? Shall I bring some prasadam? She said, no, just come and just enjoy yourself. Like, come listen. And, it was such a beautiful time, that was the best period, and as we entered into the Krishna consciousness, that is the best experience which I've got from the devotees, that is unforgettable. And I hope that someday I will be able to give this kind of experience to others. That is a thing which was a turning point. Hare Krishna.
How about you, Prabhuji? You want to say something about?
Oh, you start talking about Casey, there are a lot of things, right? So, for me, initially I started going to the class because she called me. That's all. It's just, okay, Gita class. Let us see what is there in the Gita class. To really become serious, for me, it took almost a year. Until then I was like, okay, I was just following her. Okay, you want to go to class? Let us go. Because actually, in reality, if you really see how our life was, it's a template life, right? Go to work, come back, weekend. Then the biggest problem in life at that time was to decide what to do in the weekend. And what will you do? There is a mall, blah, blah. Okay, fine. Initial 6 months, fine. After that, you get fed up. So we used to go to Sankey Tank. Sankey Tank, I don't know, Sankey Tank will tell us, don't come here anymore. You guys have done come here enough, don't come here anymore. So that was how it was. Then when the Gita class started, it was different. In the sense, at least we are doing something better. That was the first thought for me. So then it was the class was happening in the Sadashiv Nagar house of Vikram Prabhuji and Premai Mataji. So Shivas Prabhu was taking it, but it took almost a year for me to really become serious. But for me, I have also told this in many classes also. The more I heard about the philosophy, I felt that the philosophy was complete. That's the first thing that struck me about Krishna consciousness, that the philosophy is complete. You have an answer you can debate the answer. You can tell, oh, is this really true? Is this not true? I mean, that depends upon your level of faith and the process and all that. But for every question that is not limited to this material world, Casey has an answer. That was the, for me, that was a major, what do you call it, impulse or a driving factor, to continue the process. But if I say turning, I will not say it completely turning point, but I remember one moment. Mahatma Prabhu came. I think at that time, I don't know, maybe I was 3 years, 4 years into the process. I still don't remember fully. And he was conducting a kirtan. I don't know what he called it. It was like a 2-hour kirtan in the Sindhi hall near Kumarapat. I at that time I was also not very comfortable with the dancing that was going on and all that. I mean, like oh, dancing. First of all, if people see me how I dance, then it will be like a cockroach jumping here and there. So really, dancing was not my cup of tea. But I don't know, on that kirtan, what came over me, I was like, you completely let go of yourself, right? That's what happened to me. I mean, it's just an experience. I would not say it is a turning point in the sense, oh, completely before and after a change, but then it gave me an experience of what will happen if I completely let go of myself. And that session I can never forget. That's all.
Hari Bol, Prabhuji and Mataji. You both have very beautifully, gone through this journey, and you are continuing this. So we have a next question for you, which is who, according to you, is the best Kirtan dancer in Sanjay Nagar?
Kirtan dancer?
Yes.
With Kirtan, maybe dancing.
Because you play the Kirtan, so you must have observed that who's dancing beautifully.
Oh.
Divya Mataji and Alka.
I will go with what he said.
Of course, Prabhuji is all Vikram Prabhu, Ajay Prabhu.
Okay. We move on to the next question.
So, who is your role model in Grihastha devotee, Prabhuji and Mataji?
At this point, I would say it's Vikram Prabhu and Ray Mataji. I don't think there is any doubt about that. A couple of reasons, right? I mean, like for me, it is like they have the right balance towards. I mean, we all come into KC. I mean, everybody goes into their own pace. They grow at their own pace, and it is important to grow at your own pace because you've got to allow the process to consume you. If you force the process upon yourself, at some point of time, you'll give up the process because it will become a chore. It will become a burden. But once you allow the process to come towards you, then it becomes a joy. Now, if you do not have a role model who is going to show you how to balance it out, then because you do not know, when you start off, you do not know. I mean, right, there are do's, there are don'ts. Okay, how much flexibility do I have with the don'ts? You do not know. I mean, so you need somebody to show it to you that it is okay. It's okay to have, if you are not practicing the don'ts, it is okay. So that's why somebody might give up tea, coffee, onion, garlic, whatever you want to give up, maybe within 2 weeks of joining the process. For somebody, it may take 2 years. And there's nothing great because somebody gave 2 weeks before and somebody gave 2 years later. But then the people who join newly will not know that. And because they hear this, some people might be pressurized into giving up and will not be able to give up the don'ts. So in a lot of areas, I feel they struck a beautiful balance. I mean, I don't need to explain more about the attributes of Vikram Prabhuji and Premamaya Mataji. I mean, in many ways, we have to aspire to bring that. I mean, you were just talking about in the last call when we were having meeting. When Vikram Prabhu proposed, I asked him, are you growing an idea tree in your house? Because every week some new idea will pop up. So this way, in the service of Krishna, something new always keeps propping up. It's not only ideas are a dime a dozen, but then taking the idea into execution and putting it in an organization which is a voluntary, it's not an easy thing. So without doubt.
Very, very true, Prabhu. Like they're inspiration to many devotees, Sanjana, also outside also. Next question would be, if you won 1 crore today, how would you spend this? So now I think it's a season of Kaun Banega Crorepati. So maybe if you won 1 crore today, so how would you spend this?
I generally, I try to follow um, the idiom that some percentage of my earning I give for spiritual service. So out of that 1 crore, some percentage will definitely be allocated. In this case, will probably the percentage will be more. Definitely, one aspect there will be 3 dimensions I will follow. One is for the Sanjay Nagar, another is for our temple, and third will be for the TOVP. So that is one aspect. The other thing I will do with that is to complete my house loan, definitely. Because I'll tell you the reason also, right? Once the house loan is complete, then you're free. In a literal sense and a figurative sense, you're free to make a lot of decisions. So today, if you really see, right, our whole life is driven by EMI. I mean, not everybody's life, right? The earlier lifestyle was, I remember my father bought a house when he was 50 years old. So you first save, then you buy a house. Now it is not like that. You first buy a house, then you spend your lifetime paying for it, right? So everybody is now tied to their job only because they have the albatross of EMI on their neck. So yeah, definitely that's one thing that I want to take away, give it up from, or at least throw it out of my neck.
Mataji, would you like to say something?
Yeah, probably can add on to that. I would love to see the different ISKCON temples around the world. So that is definitely in my mind. If someday we can afford to do that, definitely I would love to. Especially Russian devotees, we've heard so much about them. We've heard that it is like a Vaikuntha on earth. So I definitely want to see the Russian festival and things like that. Other devotees, how they have taken up KC, how they have adapted to in their life. That is one thing which, whatever Prabhu said, I would just like to add on to that I have a great desire to see ISKCON temples around the world.
In fact, I think 3-4 years back, we were very serious about it. So in October in Ukraine, there is a big Kirtan Mela that happens. So we were like, let us plan for it and we'll go to Ukraine. Definitely, I mean, if there's out of all the geographies where the ISKCON temples are there, if there's one geography where we want to go and see how they are practicing devotional service. I will never, I have, maybe there are some new devotees, I'll probably tell this because this is another thing that really touched me. I mean, more than touched me, it changed my behavior. So first time I think we are going to Mayapur. We're from Calcutta. All of us are in kind of, this 9-seater, 14-seater vans. I think, I don't know, we're probably about 30, 40 people. So we are going into Mayapur at the same time, and there's a bus filled with Russian devotees coming at the same time. We all get down from the van and we are like stretching our hands and legs, and it's like a tourist spot. First time Mayapur, stretching our leg and all that. And all the Russian devotees just fell on the road and paid obeisances. My God, I mean, for me, it was like a the first thing I felt was shame, actually. I mean, such a poor understanding of what our process is, and we have to learn from them two things. One is how to actually follow the process, and once they are committed to the process, they are committed to it fully, which is something that we have to learn. In the sense, fine, you can question until you are committed to the process, but once you are committed to the process, then that commitment should show, and that you can see in them, which I sadly feel is not there in.
And of course, one thing we can add to it is like the devotee care. We have a great desire that so many devotees, they spend their life for the moment, and Prabhupada's to fulfill the mission. Like we see the brahmacharis and all. I always feel sometimes that we must do something for them. Of course, it is never come into action. Apart from that, we sometimes give them prasadam, but some things which we have to work out in the long run.
Another thing, I don't know if you have any question regarding this, but this point I should make, because sometimes in these type of forums, the one If I say one book, because Prabhupada's books, everything is there, that is a process. But one book which really hit me hard when I read the book was Salted Bread. We met that Prabhu also in Vikram Prabhu's house, but the that's what I was saying, when you're committed to the process. It is unimaginable what they have gone through um, for the elevation of the process, or for the preaching and the spread of Krishna consciousness in Russia. It's unimaginable. If there is one book, if you really want to know how people, in what way people are contributing, everybody should read the book. And it was, and I was so happy when I met the Prabhu. This is something I don't think I would have ever done what the Prabhu has done for the process. I mean, knowing myself, but it is a great book. It simply ripped my heart.
Yeah, so actually we may not be able to do that extent which other devotees do, but what we can try and do is at least try and serve those devotees who are doing better than us. So
See, again, I would. I thought always it is a double-edged sword when we talk about books like this, because people who are new to the process suddenly think, oh, is this what is expected out of us? That is not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is, whatever we decide to do, that we should have 100% commitment. That is all there is to this. The essence is that, in our own way, whatever we decide, whatever we commit to ourselves, we are going to chant 2 rounds a day, then that 2 rounds a day is 100%. That's all. We are not expected to, everybody, like I said earlier, right? Everybody puts in their time in the spiritual practice to whatever extent that their current situation allows them to do. And that is fine. And that is all is needed. Progress will happen automatically, progressively, organically, at the pace at which we can observe. And we should continue doing that. And that we don't need to worry about somebody suddenly went from 2 rounds to 16 rounds. Mostly for us, everything becomes a comparison, but we really don't need to worry about it. But these books, what it does is it builds the quality of seriousness into us. Sometimes we are not very serious, and for no reason. No, we are not serious for no reason. But when you start reading what people have contributed to the movement, that triggers an element of seriousness in the process.
Very true, Prabhuji. That's so kind and thoughtful about you. So we move on to the next question. What is the best compliment you have received?
Best compliment I have received, this is maybe, I mean, best compliment I've received is like, okay, you do the kirtan well. So I would put it there.
How about you, Mataji?
actually don't remember.
Prabhuji must have given you some compliment, Mataji. You can share with us.
Okay, I will explain her cooking style. Okay, so it is very she does not want me to do that. So basically, in cooking there are 2 styles, right? One, you're an instinctive cook. Another is you're a measured cook. That means you want to do what 1 pot of khichdi means. Okay, half a cup of rice, then 1/4 cup of dal, then 2 teaspoons of sugar, then whatever. Everything is measured, right? So Prithibhashini's method is not like that. She will close her eyes. She put her hand, okay, throw it in the cooker. Put her hand, dal, throw it in the cooker. Salt. So after everything is over, you open your eyes and then khichdi is there, right? And very tasty khichdi. The only problem is, okay, tomorrow you repeat the same thing. That will become a challenge because tomorrow is a new day. So, but she's a great cook. I mean, so
Yes, Mataji is definitely a great cook, and she has Jagannath, I think, because Jagannath blessings with her, because whenever she gets wholesome of prasadam everywhere she goes.
yeah, right.
Also learning from Prema, my Mataji, she always, first time we started going to the Bhakti Viksha, she used to get like huge casseroles, like 3 to 4 casseroles, not only for the devotees who come for the Bhakti Viksha, she used to make sure that she distributes the prasadam outside. So seeing that, I got an idea of how we should take prasadam for the devotees, otherwise it is, it's all learned from the senior devotees.
Yes, Mataji, I truly agree to this, and you are truly an example of that, Mataji. So we move on to the next question.
If a movie is made on your life story. So which actor do you think will best play you? So which actor will be?
Really? Oh, interesting question though. I would probably think Madhavan. I don't know if you guys know. Madhavan, who acted in that, what's the name? Hindi film. Yeah, Three Idiots, he was there. And also that Air Force
Yes.
film. I forgot the name
Yeah.
of it.
Very nice. So how about you, Mataji?
No idea actually.
Okay, we move on to the next question. Pick a nickname for yourself.
So definitely Mataji would be calling Prabhuji nickname definitely, or
You want to know the nickname that she calls me?
We don't mind
audience want to
knowing
know,
it, Prabhu.
Prabhu. Audience want to know here.
No. So picking a nickname for myself. Uh, I don't know. So my, I would, I don't know about a nickname, but my first response is generally to be a lot more friendly with people. So maybe something along those lines. I've really not thought about it. So yeah, that's the way.
How about you, Preeti Mataji?
I don't know.
So I will give you one anecdote about her. Right? I mean, nickname will be around that area. So she told she is an introvert, right?
Yeah.
To the extent I will tell you, I think we were going to maybe it was for Panihati. Maybe it is Panihati. I don't remember. But her father was also coming. Prithibhashini's father was also with us. So then somebody like, okay, Kirtan, Kirtan, Kirtan. And no, she started singing. It was a shock for her father. Forget singing at home. I mean, like, forget singing in public. She cannot even sing at home. So the only time she used to sing was when Avijit was small, only for Avijit. Even if I am there, she will not sing. Okay, so that is the level of introvertedness that she had. So when her father started to think or saw that no, she was singing in a bus full of people on the road, he was shocked. He couldn't believe it. So he said, "Very nice. You joined at Krishna consciousness and you have started singing now." So
Yeah, actually, remembering nickname, I was given a nickname by my father when I was small. I was called as Touch Me Not because for every silly thing I used to get,
annoyed.
Like people, come and I would like, keep to myself. I wouldn't like to be called or being pulled at like whatever. So I would not take jokes on me very easily. So things like that. So my father had nicknamed me as Touch Me Not. So I remembered. I'm remembering that as Prabhu was, talking about my father. So that is the name I got in my childhood.
Oh, very nice. So Mataji, so Prabhuji is telling all secrets. So now you have got opportunity to tell that, Mataji. Never leave that opportunity. So
Yeah,
okay.
actually, you just get that. I just want to show you that something which I bought because this is something which everybody.
Wait. So we want to guess what this is. What is this?
So
one or two people can guess.
so it's
Headphone.
Headphone, okay, but wrong answer. What else? Okay, so now she will tell the purpose of this device.
So actually bought this. Prabhu asked me last birthday, what do you want? You want a phone? You want this? I said, buy me this. Because this is basically, you can put on your head. It's an ear muff which you can kind of cut out the noise.
It's a noise cancellation ear muff.
Yeah, so I
wow.
got this to keep away from the noise of Prabhuji.
So she's like, what is this? You have now taken over my room and you're shouting throughout the day. I mean, she's talking about my calls, office calls, shouting throughout the day. How will I know?
No, that is just a part of it. Especially when he gets calls from his brother, sister, other extended nephews, niece. They all start talking and shouting. I'm sure the entire building will complain of that. That is another form of Prabhuji, which probably you all have not seen. That noise decibel is so loud that it actually hurts my ear. So immediately I put this on. So the moment he starts talking on the phone, I just when I'm reading a book or something, even if I'm chanting, I can't hear my own voice. It is so loud. So I use this. This is like the most prized possession of mine, where I can.
So if I had not bought this device for her, she was all ready to set up a table and chair and a power socket in our balcony. and make me sit there for my work day. So that was.
Oh, that's so funny and sweet. But I think everybody is going through the same phase right now, Mataji. So we
Yeah.
move on to the next question.
So, which was your most memorable Dham visit?
Memorable.
Dham
Dham visit.
visit.
Memorable Dham, I would say Dwaraka. So all my initial trips, if you see now, I'm probably not going so frequently because Abhijit was grown up and has grown up, and we are trying to difficult fit in the schedule. But in temple during October, right? Every year there's a dham, and I know I was not able to participate in Jagat Sakshi Prabhu's class, so he was explaining about Vrindavan Dham. That happened also when we went with the temple, and I'll probably talk about that also. I am surprised that he remembered that incident, but I also understand why he remembered that incident. But for me, the special thing was Dwarka. I mean, the Dwaraka trip, it was not only Dwaraka, it was Dwarka, Somnath, and Veraval, and the whole Gujarat side of all the pastimes of Sri Krishna. So it was like, I remember it was maybe about 5 or 6 day trip. So there was a lot of service. We ended up probably sleeping 3 hours every day. That's all, because of amount of, it was almost I think that was 5 buses, bus load, maybe about 300 people. So organize, and we were traveling on the road, so organizing prasadam for everybody, making sure they are in time. And it is very funny when you go on a 300 people trip, right? So, and most of these temples, the first thing that you meet is the shopping space, right? So once your darshan is over, getting the back into the bus so that you can meet your schedule is the biggest thing. So our job was, okay, Prabhuji, Mataji, enough, now move. So half an hour we'll spend in just pushing people into the buses. But yeah, I mean, like that was my most memorable dham. And this Vrindavan Dham, where Raman Riti, which Jagat Sakshi Prabhu explained, so he explained about Raman Riti importance, how the Gopas used to play along with Sri Krishna and all that. And he said, just let go of everything and play the role in the dust, he said. So what we decided, the best way to do it was to play kabaddi. So we had a 8 or 10 member team divided into 2 teams playing kabaddi. And I was from the other side, somebody was coming, so I caught him. He was pretty hefty. I caught him and we were fighting. Both of us went outside and fell. Actually, fell means we really fell, full fall, and my head, boom, it hit on the ground. So Jagat Sakshi Prabhu came and told, how are you? Are you fine? I heard a coconut breaking. So no, Proji, I was fine. So I think that's why he remembers that past time, because he remembers that I banged my head on the ground.
Every dham was memorable. It's like starting from the first trip was Jagannath Puri, and going yeah, that is Jagannath Puri was the first dham trip when we got introduced to Jagat Sakshi Prabhu. It was so good. I can't tell how it has impacted my life. So that time I was a neophyte, just chanting 2 rounds, and that time Jagat Sakshi Prabhu said, if when you come to the dham and you don't go back without taking any spiritual inputs, then that means your dham visit is a waste. So you have to decide what you want to do in the dham, how you want to add Krishna in your life. So that time I was seeing all the other devotees who had come with me, Apara Mataji, Premamai Mataji, Lalita Mataji, everybody was much more senior, and everybody was chanting. Early morning they would not take the bead bags and start chanting. So everybody was chanting. So along with them, I also started chanting. Then I hoped and prayed to the Lord, like all the other devotees, I should start chanting 16 rounds from today and not miss even a single day in my life. So by Lord's blessings, that has happened. So every dham visit has been a very memorable trip.
Very, very.
Which is always true. But see, even though I'm talking about Dwaraka trips so fondly, it's the Mayapur trips that actually change you significantly. Yeah, you will experience this when you go to Mayapur. You lose track of time. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday will not matter. You lose track of time, and when you come back, you're always changed a little bit in terms of your spiritual path.
So, you don't want to come back. When you go to a dham, we don't want to come back home. It's like that. It's always like that.
That's always the case. But yeah.
Very, very true, Prabhu. I think that we also experienced like just I think 2 years back we just we visited Tirupati. So with Jagat Prabhu, it was so sweet memories. Like so fast, the time is like.
No, and it is very special if you're going with Jagat Sakshi Prabhu because he's at in a different zone when he is coming with you on yatras. I mean, you will realize that, and he makes sure that every time when you're going on the trip, he tells you the Sthala Purana. What is special in that place, right? And he's got so many these small anecdotes that will happen. And so it was a beautiful, blissful experience.
And the best thing is like even children are so attracted to Krishna Katha because of Prabhuji. Like, and he always, wherever you see, you find children surrounding him, and like he talks to them, keeps them engaged, gets them interested into the process. No, I know. Even I remember, even my son was so small that time. They used to chant so many rounds, seeing all the other people. Like, no, of course, once they grow up, it will not be the same. But no, it's such a wonderful experience. Everybody gets while traveling with the devotees.
True, true, very true, Mataji. So one last question. So do you as a couple anytime have disagreements?
you know, I was telling her, look, they are going to ask us whether you fight. Of course we do. Oh, disagreements, tremendous amount of disagreements. Only how we express that is slightly different. We fight with our eyes. So, and okay, so this is also an important event. So, one day we were eating, and I just made a comment about how it is, and it was small. I thought it was a small disagreement. Okay, let me put it that way. So after that, Prithibhashini came and she said, "Okay, I'm going to the temple," and she went to the temple. Otherwise, she will come and ask, "Shall we go to the temple?" That's when I realized, oh, this is not a small disagreement; it's a big disagreement. So yeah, to answer your question, definitely yes. We have our own. Um, More and more with some analysis, what I realize is it's all the expectation. That's all. You expect your other half to behave in a particular way, and when that expectation doesn't meet reality, that brings the disagreement. What should you do as a solution is like how, I mean, it's a question of what each couple decides how they want to take it forward. But that, I mean, if you are able to, I mean, let me put it that way. I mean, when I say this, it looks like, oh, we can give up the expectation. It's very difficult. But if you are able to give up any expectation from your partner, I don't think there will be any cause for disagreement. But that expectation is a very serious impediment in harmony.
Yes. So Mataji, you want to say something here?
I think whatever said everything.
No, Mataji. Again, you'll not get this opportunity. I'm telling you.
You'll not get this opportunity to tell about Prabhu.
Sure, definitely. So anything you want to say about this weekend with devotees and knowing one another, Prabhu, like on this new series?
No, this is a fantastic initiative. I mean, when Prabhu told this idea itself, see, especially for people who are starting the process newly, of course, even for the devotees with whom we are associating, we have to realize that when we are in the association, when we are in classes, we project a different side of us, right? We have not yet reached a stage where our material process and spiritual process has kind of merged into one. So we have, I would say, for a lack of better word, two personalities. The reason is we consciously try to kill all our negatives when we are amongst devotees, which is a very good thing, which is needed, which should happen. But then the natural, what do you call uh, what people realize at that time is, oh, this is the behavior of that particular devotee, normal behavior, natural behavior. This is how the devotee is. But in reality, it will not be like that. If you see how I deal with things at my office, it's very different than how I deal with things when we are doing something in the KC way. So it is important also for people to know that and see this side, so that ultimately an artificial projection can never sustain. So this brings a holistic view to our devotee. I mean, whomever we are talking about. So we will realize they also had a normal life, normal, everything is normal until some trigger happened when you are in the process. So it's not that, senior devotee, it is just that everybody can do that. And that realization, I think, will come when they realize, when they listen to more and more people and hear the other side of their life, right? Then they realize, okay, they are also like us. Not many people think, oh, only if you are, have that great Sukruti, you can become initiated. So definitely that plays a part. But then you'll realize that we didn't do anything great in this life to actually receive that Sukruti. We went through life normally, whatever she had that desire, and it just took us in that path. So there will be that realization in many devotees that everybody can actually follow and everybody should follow and take this process seriously. So I think this initiative is a fantastic initiative to give a well-rounded perspective of devotee life. So that's all I have.
All glories to Aarti Mataji and Venkatesh Prabhu for hosting this. You really have to think so much and put everything. It's a lot of homework. We're just coming and talking.
Yeah.
About,
So
so
now that question, sorry to interrupt. Now that question paper is out. Next week also is the same question, or you are going to think of different questions?
No, Prabhuji, we have to change the questions. So actually, we should thank Vikram Baldev Prabhu and Prema Mataji and Alka Mataji, who have already, it's a team effort, who's, come up with so nice questions.
Sure.
So,
Because if we keep same questions, so I think again the next coming devotees will be very well prepared. So
Yeah.
we'll not give that opportunity to them.
You'll get template answers.
Yes, Prabhuji, definitely.
Yes,
So
yes.
thank you so much, Prabhuji and Mataji, for patiently answering us all these questions and opening on your personal side. So because opening on personal side is so not very comfortable for many of us. So with your association in any form is so pleasing for everyone, like in the Sanjanagar Yatra.
No, that has never been a problem for me. All my pastime, life's pastimes, I try to include in my class. So a lot of people know about
we
this.
need one more session of yours to know you even more better, Prabhuji.
First, let everybody go around, so that we also get to know everybody.
So we would like to thank you once again for participating.
Thank you so much for patiently
So
listening.
let's all thank this wonderful couple by chanting the Maha Mantra for their spiritual growth. So all of you can unmute and please loudly chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So
Prabhu,
now
one
let's all.
question, Prabhu. Hari
Thank you,
bol.
Prabhuji and Mataji.
So now questions are open to public. Huh? Okay.
Only one question. Only one question.
Sure, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mahasakha Prabhu, question is to you. See, we all do the spiritual practices to, change ourselves completely from what we were, how we were, and all that. Prabhu, then we have to sort of blend this into our material world of life also, so that, that is the main goal of our life. So, I was a bit disappointed when you say that, okay, in material life, we will be a little different, and spiritual life, we'll put all efforts to be nice and all that.
Sure.
So, how many years would you take now to blend totally into your spiritual life and material life and make it totally spiritual, bro?
That's interesting question. And let me clarify that when I said that, right? What I meant by that is, when you see, for you to be, think of the spiritual concepts that you need to apply in your material life. Everything we cannot apply. So when you say you were disappointed with that, no, you're different. But that is the truth. I mean, I understand why you're disappointed, but significantly, generally that's what happens, because see, it's something like this, right? You are at your best behavior when you are a devotee. For example, I'll give you a simple example. And Ajay Prabhu also told the same thing. And I felt that if you're driving a car, when you're wearing a tilak, your response to somebody who comes and probably dashes you or probably, hurls abuse at you and goes, is very measured and is very different, because you give importance to the tilak that is there in the forehead, and you are representing something at that time. So you are very careful about how you are representing that. So when I say there was a difference, I am saying that you put in that extra effort to try to practice the principles that we all know. So that is what is, and that's how you should look at it. When I say you're different in a devotee life and material life, how many years will it take for this to merge? Really, Mataji, I don't know. What is important is this, right? It's not. So let's take 0 as your starting point in material world, and what you want to reach is 100, which is the spiritual world. Question really is, are you every year, are you going 10 by 10, right? I mean, or 10 or 11 or whatever. Did you make this year, are you better off than last year in removing something in your material life that you are not happy about, right? Or which is not conducive for spiritual life. So that is why, see, if I come and tell you that, no, great, whatever I know in spiritual life, I appear in material life, I am lying to you. And obviously we are not. If I am at the stage where I've completely given up all these things, then my lifestyle itself will be very different. Now, with my current lifestyle, if I tell that, that will be completely wrong. So I don't think the issue is not, it's like asking Prabhuji, can I become pure devotee in this lifetime? I have no way of telling that. But what we should aim for is, every year, am I making progress? Am I better this year than last year in the dichotomy that we have in our lives? Everybody has that. And Mataji, if we think we do not have that, please rethink. The question really is, are you covering that? Or every year, are you making an improvement? And that is the whole purpose of this process, that every year you can see a difference in yourself, in the way you are approaching things in your life. Trust that answers your question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for the clarification. But since my life or anybody's life is so short, if we compare, I'm better next year or was I better last year, like that comparison year by year, I would prefer comparison minute by minute, Prabhu. Last minute I was bad, but this minute I want to improve. So
Wonderful.
That way we will progress very fast, I feel.
Wonderful.
Hare Krishna.
Like I said, everybody in their own pace. So fantastic. If you can do that, Mataji, nothing like it in this world.
Yeah, somebody was telling that every Ekadashi they have this kind of they think and think back and
Reflect.
Yeah. So people have their own measure standards how they would like to measure themselves. But ultimately, we have to see that we are not stagnant and we are growing. That is the only thing.
So thank you, Prabhuji.
Haribol, Prabhuji and Mataji to you. Very nice to hear you both, Prabhuji. And we have learned so many things, so many aspects. And hope we'll all improve. You are an ideal couple for us, in spiritual and material life. And so we hope to become like you. Thank you so much for your interview. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We all need each other's support to and help ourselves grow. It's not that one person helps other. We all need to help and support each other so that we grow together. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, MahaSakhaPr, very quickly I will ask you, what has made you go in the difficult time? I mean, because this is a personal forum, I can ask this. Whenever there is a difficulty that you face in life, I'm sure you have a very good couple. Both of you are in KC. That is the key factor to progress further. But as an individual, how do you take difficulty in life? Means sometimes there must be time where you feel depressed, things going out of your hand. What has helped you in a means I feel you are a very practical when I met you also. I mean, I can ask you this. So you can tell me practically what has helped you.
So for me, it is like always the support of the devotees, like which pull me out. Even if I am low mentally, any problems, like every time, it's like we have got such a wonderful, beautiful devotee family. Almost always supporting one another. Like anytime we are in a difficult situation where we cannot manage, we require physical support, in terms of prasadam or whatever it is. I always, before I even think that I might need a help, the help comes. So it is like it's been Lord's mercy, and of course sometimes you go through mentally some low times when immediately I pick up phone call and call my seniors, like, and I mean, say that I'm really not feeling like reading. I'm not feeling like doing my sadhana or something. Immediately, I get a very nice this one, that very nice way of dealing with the negativities, and so that has always been
But
my.
not every time, Mahasakha Prabhu and Mataji, we can disclose things to devotees and ask for help.
So not for
So
everybody. You can have a couple of people whom you look up to as your mentors, and
no,
and
what if there is something that you are stuck? My question is to the other level, in which you cannot extend any support from others, and it's you sometimes, which is somebody who is like Arjuna fighting your own battle. So in that case, what I'm sure everybody's life there is one situation in which you are like Arjuna fighting by your own self. Although you have big, people around you, behind you, supporting you, but on the battlefield, what has made you go and solve your problem in difficulty?
So I agree with you. It's not that you can share everything that is happening in your life
Yes.
to anybody. There will be something that will be core to your heart, and it will remain core to your heart until we move on to our next body. So the thing is this, Mataji. Ultimately, at that point, what you need to actually question is, what is your faith, level of your faith? Because for me, it has worked in terms of, you should really now give yourself up to the Lord when you want to solve that problem, whatever problem that you're talking about. When you really give up yourself, at that point, I understand you might not be able to sustain it after you go out of the problem, but at that point, when your prayer is true and you want help to solve the problem, help will come. And this is my experience. And the problem is, when we pray, we are not able to give ourselves up. So the help also comes only in installments. So if you really see, there will be some significant, some real core issues that I think each will handle according to their personality. But most of the time, our issues are really material. I mean, in terms of how we are living, somebody told something, there is a relationship issue, somebody is not understanding you properly. So
yeah, it can be anything. Adi Bhotik, Adi Devik, anything, any misery. Yeah.
I'm talking I'm not talking about the cause of the issue. I'm talking about the impact of that on your life, right? Meaning, if an acquaintance really tells something to you, you're really not bothered. But if your partner says something to you, then it hits your core. And it's not something, depending upon what she says, whether you can share it, or he or she can share it or not. But I really do. I will tell you what works for me. I'm not telling you that is the solution. There are certain things that works for her, and she practices it. For me, I've really felt that if there is a problem that is continuing and I am not able to fix it, see, typically, how do you approach? When you have a problem, you will try to fix it. What we have learned with our material tools, right? Fine.
Yes.
You have to approach them, talk to them, whatever. You have your own method. You're asking this question because after trying all these things, it has failed.
Yes.
And that is impacting you in terms of whatever you're either depressed or you're not peaceful, whatever way. And if at that time your level of faith is, you can elevate your level of faith and really pray for help will come up. That is my personal experience.
All right, bro. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mahasakha Prabhu and Preethimaji. Thank you so much. We also would like to take the opportunity to thank Vikram Baldev Prabhuji and Prema Mataji for coming up with this very innovative idea so that we know each other. So let's all unmute and chant for Prema Mataji and Vikram Prabhuji. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So thank you all. See you all next week again with one more couple. So
So,
have a nice day.
so before we wind off, Prabhuji, let us also chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for the spiritual well-being of Venkatesh Prabhu and Arti Mataji, who did a fantastic job in actually running this show and how they divided the questions among themselves. So let us also chant for their spiritual growth. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare.
Thank you so
Hare
much.
Krishna. Thank you all for giving us this opportunity. Next week we'll come
Hare
with
Krishna.
another surprise couple, I guess. Hare Krishna.
Thanks so.
So much for this and to this.